NCAA Pick'em Boys 2025 week 3. It's already week 3. But so much yet to be seen, and I'm so excited. But before we get into everything, we got to go over all the little things. Picks are due Saturday, September 13th at 11 a.m. Central Time. Never changes. First game Thursday, September 11th. 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you want that game, get it in Thursday, which is today if you're going to watch this video. Also, out of respect of my boy and sponsoring this show today, I get to read something. Game day made easy. Turnkey Tailgate hooks you up with a fully loaded trailer, AC, TVs, bathrooms, tents, tables, the works. They set it up, they tear it down. All you have to do is party. Book now at turnkeytailgate.com and score 15% off on your first rental. Not too bad. I might get me one of them for the
especially
A&M
if the bathrooms are AC.
Yeah, and just the fact that there's bathrooms.
That's true. That is very true.
All right, let's get into week 2 recap. We got Daddy Hacks, pretty sure that's Mark at the top, 8-2. And a few people, Grant, I know Shannon, his brother John, Mark's brother anyways, Cody, Tommy, me, Stevie, Christian, and somebody named Saucy that I can't remember, but congrats to all those in the top 10 in the running. And for the survivor pool, we had no eliminations, so congrats to everybody for picking wisely. But boy, it's going to get harder. Now, let's talk about a couple games that screwed over a lot of people. Let's start off with Baylor at rank 17 SMU. In double overtime, Baylor wins 48-45. SMU to cover 2.5. A lot of people had SMU. A lot of people thought SMU had that dead to rights, but they had every opportunity to win, and they didn't. Next up, we have ranked 20 Ole Miss at Kentucky. Ole Miss winning, and even the coach apologizing to all the gamblers out there for not hitting their spread. And I appreciate that. That's respect. Ole Miss to cover 10.5. They did not, but congrats to them for winning. And last but not least, the greatest upset and the greatest game that will ever be played this year. Ranked 13 Arizona State at Mississippi State. Mississippi State killing it 24-20. Arizona State to cover 6.5. I had Mississippi State money line. I screenshotted it. It's proof in the pudding. Now, with that being said, time to introduce the boys. The one and only college expert, Jerry Stovall, and I would argue the gladiator in the Coliseum of the Pick'em League group chat. We have Peter Goulandry.
What's going on? The real reason why you all listen to the show right here. We're back. We're back, folks.
It only took 3 weeks to get them back.
Yeah, man. You've been all over the place.
Yeah, literally across country.
That's okay. That's okay. But I think we got a lot to get into today. We're going to jump right into it, right off the bat. Okay. We're going to talk about the big game, the primetime spot at 2:30, I believe. Could be wrong.
You are correct.
2:30. We got rank 6, Georgia at rank 15, Tennessee. Georgia projected to win by 3.5. Anybody itching to take this one on?
Yeah, I don't know what they have with Georgia. They didn't look great last game, and that was against Austin P. The Tennessee and the Fighting Bobby Hills, like, even though they got rid of Nico Amaliva or whatever you pronounce his name, they're firing on all cylinders. They're looking great. And, I mean, when you have victories like against Syracuse where they looked convincing there, and then you blow out Eastern Tennessee State like you should be, I mean, 3.5 at Neyland Stadium? No, give me Tennessee.
Are we not worried about the defense of Tennessee?
No. I mean, if Austin P can hold Georgia to just 28 points, because, I mean, I don't know if y'all know about Austin P. Austin P is not a powerhouse at the FCS level. They are more in the bottom half of the whole kit and caboodle, not just a conference, just the whole thing. So the fact that Austin P gave them a fit, yeah, I'm concerned.
So you're telling me that game should have been a 70-0 game?
It should have matched what Tennessee did to like Eastern Tennessee. Yes, it should have been much larger.
Listen, it's one or two teams has to prove themselves, and it has to be this game. They don't have a choice. And if there was anybody to hold that spot, it would be Georgia. Normally 9 times out of 10. Now I would argue nobody's talked about Georgia because they're not playing like a top 5 team. And it kind of shows they're not blowing teams out of the water like they did. But see, now here's the thing. I was just about to walk over myself. Georgia wasn't blowing people out last year either. And we had the same discussion that we were like, they were winning by 28, 36 points, whatever, but they weren't blowing people out. Yeah, we had them through the playoffs. So, I mean, is this another situation where it's a rat line at 3.5, where Georgia can't take this with a field goal and a touchdown? Now I don't think so. Give me Georgia.
Just looking at all that bullshit flying around me here, because the one thing that Tennessee's defense is good at is stopping the run, and Georgia is a running team. Like, in the last 5 years, couldn't name you one Georgia quarterback that I'm like, wow, he has arm talent. Like, they're a run first, throw second team. And I think if there's one thing that'll set it up, will be that. If Tennessee can stop the run and force Georgia just to try and air it out, I think Tennessee wins this 2 scores easy. Because, yeah, Georgia's like, they're not showing up like they normally do. They're playing away. I don't see how Tennessee loses. So, give it Tennessee.
Listen, it would be a great opportunity for Tennessee to walk themselves right into top 5 by stomping on Georgia real quick, just on their way there. But I mean, the QB, what's his name? Bowers. He's more open than just running. I mean, if you give him the
opportunity. You're talking about the quarterback for Georgia?
Yeah.
I think his last name is Stockton.
Why am I thinking Brock Bowers?
That was their tight end about a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Where the hell is that name coming from? Why is that coming to mind?
Couldn't tell you.
I mean,
the one thing, I think Tennessee has nothing to lose in this game. Like, all the excuses are there for them. Like, you're starting QB left. Like, Georgia's normally better. Like, the excuses are lined up, so there's no pressure on Tennessee to win. I think this is a must-win for Georgia because I think people are already questioning them. So I think there's a lot of pressure on one side, and one team can just play free, and they're playing at home.
I think we're going to find ourselves in the same situation as last year, where Georgia's just going to keep winning these games barely, or if they're playing a loser team, they're going to barely blow them out, like a 30-point lead or something, but nothing crazy. It's going to be the same Georgia that's going to ride into the playoffs, into the sunset. I mean, that's my take anyways. And I have this game projected at, I just had it, 27-24 Georgia.
So, I mean, if you look at because the whole purpose of this group is to bet for or against the spread. Right now, Georgia is 0-2 against the spread, whereas Tennessee is 2-0 so far. But in the same breath, against the spread, like the head-to-head, Georgia has the advantage with that, where it varies from like 7.5, 8, 9.5, 20.5 points at one point. So they've had larger spreads against Tennessee and have indeed covered. They're also on an 8-game winning streak against Tennessee. So there's historically, this should be all about Georgia. But that's the great thing about college football. Every single year, especially in the transfer portal, you have a different team. So, I mean, if you want to, take it how you do with this details. I I'm with Peter. I just feel like that this Tennessee team is a lot more motivated, and Georgia does have a lot. I mean, they are essentially behind the media 8 ball because what they have done or lack thereof so far this year is a big question mark and should be a major concern for the Bulldogs.
And for people, I mean, for my projections, anyways, for Georgia covering and it being 27-24, that's at a 48% probability. So I wouldn't touch the game. I would throw more money at the under, personally. But, listen, but we got to talk about these big games. But great takes. Got to move on to the next one. I'm actually very excited to hear what people have to say about this. But we got ranked 18. Welcome to the top 25, boys. Ranked 18, South Florida at ranked 5, Miami. Now, Miami projected to win by 17 and a half. We've seen this big number before from South Florida, and they've proved everybody wrong. Now, let me say this. They're not going to win this game. They're not. However, a backdoor cover is totally possible because, I mean, I see Miami winning by 2 touchdowns at best. 2 touchdowns and maybe a field goal, which lands at 17, but they're not doing more than that. And the way that South Florida really wants to prove themselves, they'll fight to the very end of this game. Very end of this game. So give me South Florida 17 and a half. I might put it in the pick'em group. I'm for sure going to gamble it.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting game. I think it's very much almost like a double rivalry weekend for South Florida. Like last week, they played one Florida team. Now they're playing another. Like it's very much so kind of who has supremacy over the state. And I think if Miami is to cover, they have to come out fast, which I don't think Carson Beck is capable of doing.
No,
I think he's wildly overrated. So I really like USF to cover this game. Do I think they could win? I do think there's a chance. I think there is a chance that they sneak out a win, similar to against Florida, where like if you just hang on long enough, maybe kick a field goal, some like crazy things happen. But I don't see him getting blown up by 3 scores. I just don't.
So don't be shocked if South Florida wins this game. I really like them to not only cover the spread, but win this game altogether. They have proven themselves in week 1 playing against Boise State and winning in convincing fashion. They played a very close game, had a fantastic 2-minute drill to go the length of the field and kick a game-winning field goal in the swamp, which regardless of who you are, that is no easy feat to do. And looking at the injury report, I mean, Carson Beck doesn't have the continuity with the offense like he did in Georgia. And you have Lyle, the running back, who is questionable for the game, and then a wide receiver, last name of Trader, who is also questionable for this game. So that's potentially 2 big targets that are unavailable for this game. On top of that, if you look at the offense versus defense, like South Florida's offense versus Miami's defense, nearly every statistical category is in favor of South Florida. The only one is yards per completion, which it's close. Like South Florida averages 12.9, and then you have Miami that only gives up 9.7. The key difference where I think that this plays a big factor in thinking that South Florida can pull it off, look at the opponent so far. I mean, we already went through who South Florida played. Miami played Notre Dame at the beginning of the season, but they also played Bethune-Cookman, which that was supposed to be a 53.5 point spread. They didn't cover. They did win 45-3, but even holding Bethune-Cookman to just 3 points, you still have South Florida statistically in a better position and should be too much to handle for this Miami defense. Seeing that essentially everyone for South Florida is healthy, except for a cornerback and a defensive lineman that are also questionable, I really like South Florida to not only cover, but also win.
Now Florida, South Florida covering, not covering, money line, straight up, plus 500, which is 5-1. I'm putting $2 on it right now. I like that confidence.
Put another $2 for me. I'll zell you.
$2 going in. Call the pit boss over.
No, what I think will be interesting is if USF wins, I'll be curious to see how high they go. Because in theory, if they win against Miami, there really is not a good argument to keep them out of the top 10.
No,
even if
they
they're
have
at
to
10.
be.
Not at all.
I don't think. Yeah, like
what I don't like though is my projections sit Miami winning 38-20, which I hate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still not covering the spread though, right? It's what, 17.5?
No, it's 18. That's them covering.
Still.
No, it's Miami barely covering, but like when I run these projections, they always come somewhat close to the spread. It's not like crazy far off, unless like if it is, then like that's I'll bet that. But I mean, with this projection, I mean it is Miami covering by 18 points, but I just love this. I mean, South Florida could be the Vanderbilt of this year. And just grab the beginning of this season by the balls and just run. And just
South Florida is the team that Vanderbilt wished that they were.
That's very true. But they're like the beginning of the season, they both had like really hot starts. So I hope to see South Florida in the top 10. That would be crazy. I wish that was a future bet because I would bet that. All right, we got to talk about probably the biggest game of the Pick'em League. Is ranked 16 Texas A&M at ranked 8 Notre Dame. Going down to the Band, and we're going to play Notre Dame. And I hate to say it, I really think Texas A&M can cover. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody got a hot take?
I think both QBs suck. I think Reed has not developed at all. And everything I've seen of I'm a big Notre Dame fan. God's team. Nothing else you can say. But God did not bestow a good QB on Notre Dame. Like, blew up the Miami game solely on his own. He's young. Do I think he could be good in 2 years? Sure. But I don't... If they're going to win, it's because they're going to run over A&M. It's not going to be through the air. So I would lean on A&M to cover this, just because I think it's going to be an ugly football game. That's not going to be super high scoring. It's going to be either a lot of field goals or maybe a touchdown here or there. But yeah, I have no faith in either of the team's offenses. A&M fans, you're still just mediocre A&M. And Notre Dame is still riding the wave of momentum from last year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if Notre Dame loses this game, they will not be in the playoff. Like, there is no one else on their schedule that's actually solid. So if they got in, it would purely because their name is Notre Dame. And it would show everyone Notre Dame doesn't need to play anyone to make the playoff. It's going to make probably specific Notre Dame fans mad. Stephen, but it's true. It's just like, yeah, Notre Dame is in a must-win situation, and they don't normally do the best in that situation.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm not a fan of the fact that they played Miami in week 1 and then had a bye week in week 2. I mean, and that's great because if you look at the injury list going into this week, there's like a dozen players that are out. But it was reported back in like August 31st or August 26th. So hopefully they have their offensive line healed up and ready to go. But you don't have you don't have that continuity of developing like you want to at the beginning of the season, unlike Texas A&M where they had 2 cupcakes, played fairly well against them. The offense looked good. They scored enough points where statistically any team should win a game if you score 40 plus points. But where I think, Peter, you're on to something. I don't know what you're going to get with either one of these quarterbacks. I think they're trying to do too much with Marcel Reed and making him a passer rather than a runner. Not saying that he can't pass the ball, but you saw it last year when he was able to have the yardage to run, he would take it. Now it seems like he's being kind of handcuffed or like a ball in chain to stay behind the line of scrimmage and pass the ball rather than run it. And I think that would be the key component to A&M winning this game is if they could run the ball. Because I mean, the only stat that we have is against Miami. Miami ran the ball 38 times for 119 yards, and that it does include -2 yards by Carson Beck and Dylan Joyce. So I mean, those are great numbers. They can run the ball and get some yardage on Notre Dame. I think that's going to be the key. Can A&M's offense effectively run the ball, essentially pull an App State like what App State did against A&M, and for a 6.5 point favorite for Notre Dame at home, I kind of like that. I like A&M to be able to cover.
Yeah, see, like I would say if there was something to sway me completely to Notre Dame covering is 6:30 at night at Notre Dame. I mean, and Notre Dame's been just waiting to stomp on us again, and waiting to like say, hey, this is our moment to shine. So I think that there's been a lot of momentum leading up to this game for them. And just like culturally within them, maybe not the team playing itself, but like there's a lot of build up for this. And if there was an opportunity for Notre Dame to strike, it would be all the planets are aligning for it to happen. But I still like A&M to cover this, keep it tight. I mean, Notre Dame might just cover this out of their ass, but I still have Notre Dame 28-24. So that's A&M covering.
Yeah. I have Notre Dame winning, but the thing with South Bend is I would call it the cathedral of college football because like it's old, it's historic, but it's not hard to win in. Like you're not intimidated by South Bend. It's one of like the spots to go, and even like game day things like that. Far better than any other college atmosphere because it's very unique in its own way, but it's not intimidating, if that makes sense. Like I've been to many night games that are even like big games, and I've seen Notre Dame lose. Biggest one lately was Ohio State. What was that? Last year, 2 years ago, where Notre Dame put 10 guys on the field with the biggest play of the game. So it's like it's not something where other teams buckle under. I think you'll be able to tell within the first quarter if Notre Dame is going to blow them out. Because what Miami did to them is they pushed the offense and defensive line wherever they wanted. So if A&M can do that, I would say A&M would win the game. But if you see Notre Dame's, especially offensive line, pushing them around, Notre Dame will win, if not cover. But I'm still liking A&M to cover the game.
So Peter said a lot of shit. Excuse my language there. I'll agree with you. Notre Dame is historic. Yes, it is. I also agree with you that Notre Dame is not a difficult place to win. But the Cathedral, one of the best atmospheres for college football, you're having an absolute laugh. I had to take one of their like student tour thingies for the College Football Hall of Fame. The only thing that they say is like, oh, we love our afternoon games because we want to make sure that our alumni are able to travel away from South Bend and get home at a safe hour. Like the fact that this game is at 6:30 or maybe even 7:30 local time, because I don't know what time zone Indiana is in.
They're in Eastern. They're
Eastern. Half of their season ticket holders are going to be home and sleeping with a cup of tea or something like that. They're not going to stay up. Touchdown Jesus is just an accident on the side of that library. Like, and Notre Dame Stadium in person is like a miniature version of, or like it's like a high school stadium. Like I've seen high school stadiums in Louisiana that are bigger than Notre Dame Stadium. And that's saying something because high school stadiums in Louisiana aren't that big. Game day atmosphere is not going to be a problem. A&M fans are not A&M fans, but A&M as a football team is going to be A-okay. And they need to get rid of those nasty, Rudy-ass urinals in locker rooms because they still gloat about that. It's terrible.
I've never been to Notre Dame, so
You're not missing much. It's a commuter school kind of situation.
that's where my wife's parents are going to see the game. That's where they felt like choosing to go to. I would have picked a bunch of other away games, but
every football player's got to do it, or football fan.
That's what I heard.
I will admit, yeah, you
mean,
had to at least make the trip up there.
I guarantee you that in our group message there'll be over under 2.5 people take a picture of them being at the game.
I'll take the under.
I know. I think I know.
Over.
I personally know. I think 50 different people going to that game.
No, but in the group message, in the pick'em, over under 2.5 people take a picture of them being at the game.
I know 2 for sure. I would go over.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over 2.5.
Just because
the A&M game, it'd be different if it was in College Station, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, I actually know a lot of people, A&M fans, driving up there, but the thing with Notre Dame's fan base is they travel from everywhere. So I know people coming from like 2 states away to go to that game.
But they travel during the day, not nighttime.
Yeah, but they'll stay. Like the old ones will leave, but the younger, like actual fans, they'll be
What's
there.
the stadium capacity of Notre Dame Stadium?
20 grand.
20. What? Let's see. Oh no, that was in my
54,000.
54,000. It's that small.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's not a loud stadium. It looks sweet, but it's not a loud stadium.
I mean, even that's pushing it.
All right, listen. I sent y'all guys a picture earlier today of the Week 3 most deserving teams.
Oh, we're talking about that picture. Okay, got it.
Yes. No, not the one I sent you in private. This is brought to you by K Ford Ratings, just to give them a shout out. It's theirs, but I want to talk about, if y'all guys see this list, I'll put it up on the screen for a little bit for people to see. But if we're talking about the top 10 most deserving teams, as in like where they should be in AP rankings, I guess. 1 would be Florida State, 2 Ohio State, then South Florida, then Miami, then LSU, then Iowa State, then Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Oklahoma. Now, let me tell you this. What in the world is Florida State doing in ranked 1? Alabama was never projected to be the world's greatest team, and anybody could beat them. It just happened to be Florida State. But I love South Florida being in the top 5.
I mean, I'm comfortable with Ohio State being a 2 because, I mean, they did beat Texas. I mean, obviously, Texas is not the team that everyone has thought of, like the thought that they would be after 2 weeks.
Right.
But I'm comfortable with them being there. USF for sure should be in the top 3, if not number 1. And even Mississippi State and Oklahoma. I don't know why those 2 teams aren't rated higher than what they are. You could make an argument for Baylor. You could make an argument for Vanderbilt and even Tulane. But I do like this top 10 more than what the AP polls are showing.
Yeah, definitely sparks a lot of better conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Texas in the top 10. I'm shocked they're number 7 because all that game week 1 showed is Ohio State and Texas have really crappy QBs.
Oh,
like Arch Manning.
No. Hold on. We're talking about the Week 3. Oh, look at the picture I sent you.
No. I know.
Okay. Keep going.
I'm saying is like, I don't think Ohio State should be number 2.
We lost your camera.
In that. I know. I'm looking at the picture.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
This
We'll get
is
one of them on my phone.
High quality gold here. But I mean, let's be honest though. Why is Ole Miss ahead of Mississippi State and Oklahoma? What have they legitimately done?
I don't.
Georgia Tech, yeah, I can get up there. Missouri, yeah, I can understand that as well. But no, get rid of Auburn, get rid of Ole Miss, get rid of Iowa State. But I mean, they've played and beat the teams that they've had so far. I guess I could see them at like 8 or 9, but for sure, USF, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, they're deserving of it.
Who is missing that should be on this list?
That's a good question. Tarleton State.
Tarleton State. I love Texas State being on this list, by the way.
They're deserving of it. South Carolina, I'm glad that they are on there, even though apparently they dropped 14 spots. I didn't realize TCU only played one game so far. That's stupid. But I don't know if there is really a team that
Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is a pretty well done. A well done list.
It is pretty solid. I would probably put Michigan in like the like 21 to 30 category, because it's not like that they got blown out by Oklahoma. And then the same thing with Arizona State. That one was a very close game that came down to an interception on the final drive of the game. So like, why there are some 1-1, like Baylor being 1-1 and TCU being just 1-0. I don't understand why those teams are on there and not like a like one of the other teams that I mentioned.
Yeah, shout out Baylor taking a loss and being on the most deserving list.
Right.
All right, Peter, you want to talk about this top 25?
Well, again, this even ties into the most deserving thing is Ohio State has no business being on there. They barely beat a bad UT game or a team. Like UT and Ohio State, in my opinion, if they were actually reasonably ranked, they'd be right next to Michigan. You'd have Ohio State at 22, UT at 24. Because it's like the biggest hype about that Ohio State UT game was that they were good last year. And people said, oh, the elite defense. I'm like, anyone can look elite when a QB can't throw it more than 5 yards.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think this top 10 will be shaken up a lot. I do like how there's a lot of new teams that are like kind of making a comeback. So, yeah. So all I got there. UT sucks. Ohio State, still gay. I'd rather see LSU. I'd rather see LSU number one because I thought they had a more legitimate win than anyone else right now.
Yeah, I'm riding for LSU right now. I really love to see them win a natty this year, and they have all the potential to do it.
The problem that LSU has right now is the fact that Clemson is looking as bad as they are. Like that, it's not making our win look that impressive.
That's very true because Clemson could very well lose this game to Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
at the rate that they're going.
And looking at the current schedule for like the top 10, I mean, or really the top 15, you have Clemson playing a feisty Georgia Tech team in Georgia. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to come out of that with a win. Texas is just playing UTEP. That's not impressive. And then Penn State playing Villanova. Like what are we doing in week 3? We're only going to have like 2 or 3 good games, and we're going to have Penn State and Villanova and Ohio State versus Ohio. Like, cancel y'all's Big Ten network subscriptions if y'all have it, because that's going to be boring as hell.
It's so true. I do not like, so far, the first 3 weeks, I don't like the slates have been very thin. And I mean, I guess that means that everything's going to line up for like crazy football weekends. All the weekends that I'm probably not free for, which is going to be great. Because all the weekends I am here for, the slates have not been that great. Sucks. That's okay.
Well, I think the only, like, to end this, like my last thought with this, you have South Carolina versus Vanderbilt in South Carolina on the SEC network at 6:45. I think that is really going to prove how good the South Carolina team is, because they have Vanderbilt, they have Missouri, they have Kentucky. and then they're at LSU, Oklahoma. Like this is the start of SEC territory for a bubble team like South Carolina. And if Sellers and that Gamecocks crew is as good as they are, they need to hit the ground and hit it hard against Vanderbilt, which after watching Vanderbilt last week, I don't know if they can do it.
That's yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that one bit, with any of that. Well, boys, any final thoughts? Anything? Nothing?
I'd say one sleeper game, which you don't need to talk about it, but Bama versus Wisconsin could be an interesting game.
Probably going to take the under for that game, too.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's defense been rocking it. Well, boys, appreciate it as usual. It's nice to get the crew back together. And once again, picks are due Saturday, September 13th at 11 a.m. Central Time. And the first game is Thursday, September 11th, which is today at 6 p.m. Central Time. Get the picks in. Let's have a great week 3. Thanks again. And once again, happy picking.